Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Childcare Chatter podcast, the show that educates on all things childcare, brought to you by Childcare Resource and Referral of Southeast Iowa. I'm your host, Emika, and today we have a really important topic on our hands: active supervision in childcare. If you're a parent, educator, or anyone who works with children, this episode is a must listen. And to help us dive into this, I'm joined by Malia Love, one of our Region 5 childcare consultants. Welcome to the show, Malia.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and talk about such an important subject.
Yes, we're so glad to have you. Now, Malia, when we talk about childcare, safety is always top of our mind. Active supervision is one of those terms we hear often, but I think it can mean different things to different people. So to kick us off, what exactly does active supervision mean when it comes to caring for our children?
Great question. At its core, active supervision means being fully present and engaged with the children you're caring for at all times. It's not just about keeping your eyes on them from a distance. It's about actively watching, listening, and anticipating what might happen next. It's about being in the moment with the children, being aware of their needs, their surroundings, and their behaviors. Active supervision is about preventing accidents before they happen rather than reacting to them afterwards.
Okay, that makes so much sense. So it's not just about keeping an eye out, but being actively engaged in the situation. Now, I imagine there's a bit more to it than just watching. Can you talk a little bit about the key elements of active supervision?
Absolutely. There are a few key components that make up active supervision. First, it's about positioning. Where you stand or sit matters. If you're with a group of children, you need to be able to see and hear everyone. Second is tracking. You have to know where each child is at all times, especially in busy environments like playgrounds or classrooms. Third is anticipating. This means understanding the potential risks, like how a child might try to climb something high, wander off, and taking steps to prevent it before it becomes a problem. And finally, there's communication. Talking to the children makes sure that they understand boundaries and helps them understand what is safe and what is not safe. It's a big part of keeping everyone safe.
Okay, so positioning, tracking, anticipating, and communicating. Those are some solid strategies. I think one thing we don't always realize is how much attention and focus it takes to supervise a group of children. How do childcare workers balance the need for active supervision with the fact that they might be looking after multiple kids at once?
That's definitely one of the biggest challenges we see, Emika. When you have multiple kids, it's easy for one or two to slip through the cracks if you're not careful. But the key is planning. It helps to have a structured approach. For example, having clear expectations for where the children can go and what they can do along with consistent routines can make a huge difference. Also, supervision doesn't necessarily mean that you have to physically be in the same spot the whole time. You can use your environment, things like barriers or gates or fences, to limit access to certain areas, and then position yourself to be able to quickly move and respond when needed.
Wow, okay, that sounds like a lot of strategy and coordination. So it's not just about being in the right place at the right time, but it's also about creating an environment that's conducive to safety in the first place.
Exactly. Prevention is a huge part of active supervision. That means making sure the play area or classroom is safe and that children are aware of any boundaries. It's also about knowing the individual needs of each child. Some children may need support or supervision more so than others. Understanding their behaviors, triggers, and personalities helps you anticipate what might or could happen.
I love that insight. So let's get practical. For someone who's just starting out as a childcare provider, trying to supervise multiple kids, what are some immediate, actionable steps that they can take to improve their active supervision?
Great question. A couple of things I'd recommend are Use a head count system. Always count the kids regularly, especially after transitions, like moving from one activity to another or from inside to outside. This helps you to know right away if someone is missing or in danger. This is oftentimes called name-to-face recognition. Second, you're going to want to establish clear rules. Set boundaries and make sure that kids understand them. If they know what's expected and what's safe, they're more likely to stay within those guidelines. Divide and conquer when possible. If you are caring for a group, delegate certain responsibilities. For example, if you're a provider with another adult or a coworker, take turns overseeing different areas. You can also have the kids pair up and look out for one another in a safe, structured way. You also want to practice awareness of environmental risks. Before activities or playtime, always scan the environment for potential hazards. Loose toys, sharp objects, uneven ground, things like that. The more proactive you are about the environment, the less you'll have to react.
I love those tips. It's all about being proactive and thinking ahead. Before we wrap up, Malia, do you have any final advice for childcare providers trying to master active supervision?
My biggest piece of advice would probably be don't underestimate the power of your presence. Children feel safer when they know you're paying attention to them and their surroundings. The more consistent and attentive you are, the more children will learn about safety, boundaries, and responsibility. It takes practice, but it's worth it for the well-being of the kids in your care.
Such great advice. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, Malia. I think we've all learned a lot today about the importance of active supervision in childcare.
Thanks for having me, Amika. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Childcare Chatter. Remember, active supervision isn't just about watching. It's about being engaged and proactive. We're super grateful for your curiosity about our services. For a deeper dive, swing by our website at iowaccrr.org and join us on social media at iowaccrr. Don't miss out. Tune in next month for another exciting episode of the Childcare Chatter podcast, brought to you by your pals at Childcare Resource and Referral of Southeast Iowa.